Hey guys, what is up? It's Crazy here, and welcome back to another video. And today, guys, is going to be one of those discussion videos that, since I don't really have anything to do tomorrow, well, that's why I'm recording it as of right now. But we'll probably go up sometime late tonight, early tomorrow morning. And this video is going to be about the new clown killer, and I know most of you have probably gotten something about this already in notifications from some other Dead by Daylight YouTuber, but I figured I'd cover it anyway. And in the PTB, Dead by Daylight developers' behavior introduced their new chapter. The chapter is called Curtain Call, and it introduces two new characters, a survivor and killer. It introduces the Clown and Kate Denson. Now, the devs did say they weren't going to add in a Clown killer, but it is going to be a Clown killer. They've confirmed that. How this is going to play out, I don't know. Because they have the potential to lose quite a bit of people who are afraid of clowns. But we'll have to see how that plays out for them. But the Clown, if you guys haven't seen it yet, the Clown has his own power. And it is called the Afterpiece Tonic. Tonic. Something like that. What the power does is it says tap or hold and release the power button to launch a bottle of the Afterpiece Tonic. On contact, the bottle will break, emitting a gas cloud that will intoxicate any survivors within the area of effect. So it's kind of like a ranged projectile, which is what the gas grenade is that we saw in the teaser trailer. And it's basically that. And it's an AoE effect. So it's kind of like a Huntress thing with ranged. And I think he's kind of in the same spot as Huntress, maybe a bit lower on the tier list, where he's kind of still like a mid-tier killer who has the potential to be a upper tier killer, high tier killer, if they do some work on him. But we'll have to see how that goes. Intoxicated survivors will suffer from impaired vision, reduced movement speed, and involuntary coughing for 1.5 seconds, meaning they won't be able to do anything for 1.5 seconds while they're coughing. And the speed penalty is mainly going to be used to counter looping, as it will very easily stop survivors from looping you around the same general area. And you can press and hold the active ability button to replenish your bottles of the Afterpiece Tonic. So what this means, guys, is your secondary power action, whenever you bind it to, will reload your bottles. It'll take some time. The animation will slow you down. But you can replenish your bottles like that, anywhere you are. And that's going to be really helpful if you're in a chase, you can't break it. But keep in mind, there is a massive speed penalty while you're reloading bottles. So you do want to keep that in mind. So now we're going to get on to the killer's perks. Starting with the first perk the Clown has, it is called Colorophobia. And it says, your presence alone instills great fear. Survivors within your terror radius have a 30% penalty to healing progression speed. So this is definitely going to put a dent in progress for anybody who relies on self-care to heal them fully. Because survivors are used to sitting in your terror radius, they're healing themselves up, getting ready for a flashlight blind or something to save their friends. If the rest of and that's really going to put a dent in their self-care, considering self-care already moves really slow. And his next perk, Pop Goes the Weasel, is a rare perk. A deep bond with the entity unlocks a great strength. After hooking a survivor, the next generator you break is instantly regressed by 15% of its total progression. Not current progression, total progression. Normal generator regression applies after the damage is done. So what this means, guys, is if the killer does do this, I believe all these perks are at level 1 description, and it is 20, and the gen is at 15% or lower, you will lose all of the progress on that gen if he kicks it while Pop Goes the Weasel is active. And Pop Goes the Weasel is active for 30 seconds after the survivor is hooked. And for his last perk, we have Bamboozle, which is an uncommon perk, and his your vault speed is 5% faster. And performing a vault action calls upon the entity to block that vault location for 8 seconds, which means that nobody else will be able to follow through the window after you. So if you have somebody following you ready for a flashlight save, you go through a window, they cannot follow you through that window. They will have to go around or wait the 8 seconds. But you can only block one vault location in this way at any time, and it's blocked only for survivor. Moving on to Kate Denson's perks, we have Windows of Opportunity. I apologize for the coughing and everything else that's allergy related, as I say in all my videos. Windows of Opportunity is an uncommon perk for Kate Denson. It unlocks potential in one's aura reading ability, and auras of palace and vaults are revealed to you within a 20-meter range. And Windows of Opportunity has a cooldown of 60 seconds when vaulting or dropping a pallet during a chase. And the only problem with this is you basically have to vault a window or drop a pallet during a chase, which is pretty much going to make this perk useless, which isn't a good thing. And I don't know if I like the idea of that, because a good survivor should know where those things are at anyway. But moving on to our next perk, we have Boil Over, which is an uncommon perk. You are a battle and do everything to escape a foe's grasp. Your struggling effects on the killer are increased by 25%. You obscure the killer's ability to see hook auras within 10 meters. Which is actually pretty good, because then that means that the killer doesn't have IG. You might have a decent chance of actually wiggling out of the killer's grasp, which is really something that survivors do need, as it almost is impossible to wiggle out unless you have a body block. And for our final perk, we have Dance With Me, which is a rare perk, and when performing a fast vault or leaving a locker in sprint, you leave no scratch marks for 3 seconds, and Dance With Me has a cooldown of 60 seconds. Now, other stuff introduced with the Survivor and Killer, there is obviously the customization shop. But they also changed some stuff with the blood webs and the inventory. So now whenever you play a character, you will always start with the tier 1 of their 3 teachables. And for example, if you started playing Dwight, you would already start out at level 1 with the teachable level 1 of Bond, Leader, and Prove Thyself. Now keep in mind, only one can be used still at the time, but they have decreased the perk slots to unlock stuff from 15, 20, 25 to 5, 10, and 15, making it a bit easier for you to actually get stuff and have a better chance at survival. And along with that, they're also changing some stuff like the pallet vacuum for Survivor and Killer. I have heard that you have to stop running now to throw it on a pallet, which I do think is kind of bullshit. But along with that, they're also adding in the option to close the hatch for anybody who doesn't know that already. And basically what you have to do is you can close the hatch, and in order for a survivor to open it, they must have a key or fix a generator. And if they do that, if they fix a generator, you can go back and close the hatch again, which once again I think is a bit bullshit, but you know, it is what it is. So there's definitely some things that are going to be quite interesting to see in this game when they release the new killer. His Mori, he stomps on their head and then cuts off their finger and tastes it. And I feel like this Mori could be better because the stomp animation looks like he's just lightly tapping their head. And the finger cut is kind of boring, kind of creepy at the same time. So, I don't know. Is he going to be worth the money in the long run? I'd say you should probably wait and see how he turns out first. Because we don't know what the devs are going to do to him. You probably want to wait and see how he plays out in some games first. As far as release dates, we do not have a confirmed release date for the Killer, but for the Killer and Survivor, the Curtain Call chapter. But but I think I have heard that it's supposed to release around June 14th, and I guess that is because the devs do plan on, of course, making some changes to the new Killer and Survivor in the Curtain Call chapter. And anything that you do get in the PTB, if you are playing on PC, that you will actually be able to keep in your actual game once it transfers over, from what I've heard. So I think that actually is really cool. As far as some other stuff, they've added in new music to tie in with the DLC chapter, added in new sounds, idle poses for killers in the customization shop, redesigned confirmation prompts, added player level functionality, and they've actually added a tutorial that allows players to fully understand the game. It'll teach Survivor how to run, fix a generator, actually open a gate, and then leave through the door. And Killer, it actually requires you to find and hunt down a Survivor, which can actually throw down a pallet on you in a small little area of a map. And it's pretty cool because it actually teaches you how to play. There's a proper tutorial now. They changed hook orders to always be visible from a Killer standpoint while carrying a Survivor. Decreased the range of activation for the Killer pickup interaction, decreased the race flashlight stun, and removed the possibility of spawning the Doctor or Hag splinters and blood webs because these characters can now be purchased via iridescent shards. So that is pretty much it for this video, guys, and if you liked it, remember to hit that like button and subscribe, and you guys can also go check me out on Twitch, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.